This is not an architecture. This is a stupidity in architecture.
You just received the Best Teacher Award.
Research. And I didn't know anything about research. Even COVID came.
Right.
So for 2 years, again my journey of research was abundant. Funding of approximately 1.8 crore. So there are 3 sustainable pillars. Permutation and combination using some traditional technology in a modern and smart way.
What do you think is up with the today's generation, our generation, the Gen Zs?
Not actually focused on their strength. As a result, that becomes the technology is becoming their weakness. Analysis or pre-design studies. What is the location of your site? What is the potential of the site? What is the real context of the site? So
The wow factor.
yeah, a big cake is always not eatable. They just connect room to the room, and they think this is architecture.
Hello everybody. Today we are here with our esteemed professor of LSAD, Professor Architect Sir Himmat Bhatia. Welcome to the channel, sir. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I am overwhelmed and honored to be part of your channel. Thank you very much.
We got to know that you got an award recently, and you would like to talk a little about it?
Yes, actually, I want to start my journey right from the beginning. I am an architect by profession, and for 13 and a half years, I was into the business, doing many buildings, including core architecture buildings to high-end interiors and corporate offices.
Right.
And then I entered into a prestigious teaching profession.
Okay.
And since last 13 and a half years, I am into this profession, and I joined Lovely Professor University 5 years ago. And when I joined here, I have got the experience of field also, industry also, and teaching also. But
Right.
I didn't have any experience about the research. Here in Lovely Professor University, it was a lot of craze on the research. And I didn't know anything about research. Even the first word R, I was scared of. So after 1 year of my joining, then COVID came.
Right.
So for 2 years, again my journey of research was abundant. It was restricted because of COVID. So I did entire job from my home. And since last 2 years, I worked a lot on research. And you will be surprised to know that in 1 year of my research journey, along with my teaching,
Right.
I published 4 Scopus papers
Oh wow.
and approximately 7 UGC care papers.
Okay.
Okay, and 5 patents are published. Out
That's
of
really
which,
amazing.
1 patent is granted internationally, and funding of approximately 1.8 crore
Oh my god.
is successfully submitted to DST. So this was my achievement, and for this achievement they regarded me
The best
as
teacher
the best teacher
award. You just
A3
received the Best Teacher Award.
by A3 Foundation. It is a 20 years old foundation, and I've been awarded for this. I just want to talk my research only in 2 lines. It will be very helpful for the student of architecture also and young architects who are actually into the practice.
Right.
So there are 3 sustainable pillars which we all know.
Right.
One is human being, that is society. Another is ecological system, that is environment.
Right.
And third is economic system. Okay. So there are 3 pillars, and the natural resources which are free of cost available to us. One is solar energy, which is free of cost.
Right.
Wind, which is free of cost. And third is the rain, that is water.
Right.
That is also almost negligible cost. So I use all these 3, and just to make permutation and combination using some traditional technology in a modern and smart way,
Right.
and bringing some kind of benefit to the human being without harming to the environment, or with respecting to the environment, you can say, and without much of the cost which is available.
Right.
And it will be sustainable throughout the life. Once it is happening, so you don't relying on the mechanical system for the electricity generation or air conditioning system, which is running on the electrical and mechanical support. So it will be generated by these kind of natural resources which are available free of cost.
Right.
So it is a just one time cost, and that cost is also not too huge. And once it is done, so your entire building becomes air conditioned, thermal, creating some kind of thermal comfort for the working and living conditions of the human beings which are living there and
without
working there
any use of
without
active.
And in the other words, you can say that you are saving the environment also, because all these electrical supports and mechanical supports are actually producing the carbon footprint on the planet.
That is very true.
That is a real problem, and when I am doing all this, and that will be really helpful for the humanity. That's what I hope so.
Of course, sir. Okay, I want to ask now, what do you think is up with the today's generation, our generation, the Gen Zs? How? You are a design teacher even for our class. You are teaching a lot of students. You are a very famous professor in our LSAD as well. So what do you think about students, like our generation of architecture students?
There's a great difference between the students of our generation, some 27 to 32 years back, and it is a real difference between the today's students. I mean, there's a big generation gap between these two. We were having less information, but we were very hardworking. We were focused on our work. But today, because of the technology which has been induced into the system, those students becoming technology oriented. So as a result, their innovation is becoming lost. They are more focused into the technology. So their imagination is going less into the designing process. So the only reason behind this is they are not actually focused on their strength. So as a result, that becomes the technology is becoming their weakness. But meanwhile, you can say that this technology can also be a very fruitful strength also to the students when they apply their own mind to create some kind of system which is really fruitful for the upcoming generation. Now, during our time when we were practicing, that kind of carbon footprint or these kind of things were not very much prevailing.
Right.
But nowadays, the global warming system is coming up, and temperature variation, climatic change. So everything is creating very harmful to the humanity. And the temperature is high. It has been increasing day by day because the air conditioning, which is throwing the cool air inside and mixing the hot air to the outside environment and making the environment very hot outside. And the buildings which are coming up nowadays are actually not respecting the natural resources, and they are actually running on the mechanical support. If you remove all the mechanical and electrical supports, all the buildings are not for living purpose or working purpose.
Especially in the city areas, and all the buildings are like that.
Because of the heat generation by this building and the reflective, absorptive, and the sun which is throwing the heat. So all are accumulating and creating the environment very warm, and the parameters of design are such that the natural ventilation is not taken care.
Houses
nowadays.
are just clustered, like no wind is coming in. No
Even if the window is
ventilation.
coming, so no cross ventilation is happening.
Yes,
Even the light which is coming is also not as per the requirement.
It's not diffuse, it's giving glare. People are not looking into it. That is really true what you just said. Like
because the orientation of the building which is designed nowadays is not as per the sun path diagram and wind moment. So that is a real problem that is happening out there in the system. Now, if you start with the site analysis or pre-design studies during the student age, they are relying mostly on the Google or some search engine.
Right.
And they are not applying the mind. So they just Google it and get the wind moment, wind speed and sun path diagram.
Right.
But actually this system which is on the Google is not very authentic for that region on which your site is existing. So you just check that what is the location of your site, what is the potential of your site, what is the real context of the site. So there are so many contexts.
Context is the
which are actually external forces which are deriving your design.
Right.
Okay. And there are some internal forces also which are actually you can say that the function of the building, the actual site in the boundary, within the boundary. So all these are the factors which are giving you some kind of direction to designing. Okay.
Right.
So when we respect both external forces and internal forces, then you develop your concept which are very helpful for the client aspirations, to fulfill the client aspirations,
as well as the environmental
as well as the environment aspects also, as well as the functionality which is
right.
required, and as well as the people, the user profile group, the hierarchy of the user group,
users,
which are actually using the building. So if all these factors are taken care, then only you can say that you are on the right track. Then the process that you follow will be in the right direction. Otherwise, the process will be half-hearted done. Half baked cake is always not eatable.
Right.
So today's generation is full of technology. So they are using this technology to the fullest without applying their mind as to what this technology is useful, how much this technology is useful, and how much this technology is harmful for the students, for the design,
right.
for the users, for the environment, for the functionality. So all these are actually accumulating, and then in this direction if you think, and then you bring that ideology which is respecting all these factors, then only you can say that your design is actually
good.
A good design. And if you bring some innovations also into design, then it will become an extraordinary design.
Right.
So this is the real problem of the students, and they are not relying on their imagination. They are not respecting what your site demands. They are not respecting what your user profile or user hierarchy of user group, which will be using the group, their aspirations. They are not respecting that. And moreover, the climate context which are there, I mean there are so many contexts which are there. I have already discussed you 9 types of context in the class.
I'll add the context here, so you guys can check it out.
So if all these factors are joining together, then only you can say that your design is to some extent it is good. And if innovation part is also there, and you give some different form to the building, that it will become iconic or landmark, so then it will be very, very beneficial for the outsiders also. When they look at the building, they'll really impressed and interested to go inside the building and enjoy the spaces.
The wow factor.
Yeah, the wow factor.
You always talk about it.
Yeah, the wow factor comes only then. Now the real problem with the students is that they just connect room to the room, and they think this is architecture. This is not an architecture. This is a stupidity in architecture. And this is the practice which is really harming to the environment and really harming to the overall societal system. And not very fruitful. I mean, the people who are living in the building, they are actually feeling the building. They are actually the part of the building. So they just go live, whether the building is healthy or non-healthy, they don't care, because the architect never cared about all this. So if architect care, then obviously the people who will be living will be healthy, and their working strength will also be improved, working efficiency will also be increased. So this is a fact, that these kind of things are actually nowadays should be involved into the design process.
Okay, so finally, the main advice for the students is what sir just told. All the context in mind, all the users in mind, everything. It's not just environment, it's not just the users. Everything, holistically, the whole site should be designed. Then only your design will be called as a good design. Sir, any last few words from your side? We will love that.
Just focus on your success, what you want actually from the life.
Right.
And when you are going towards or you are heading towards your success, don't forget that environment is also a good factor that you and your future generation will be living in. So it is your great responsibility, biggest responsibility, that you should take care of your user profile group, their health within the building, because you are ultimately going to design the spaces.
Right.
And the people who are living in the spaces are spending more than 90% of their time indoor.
Right.
So it is your responsibility to make the people healthy, to make the environment healthy, and if you fulfill, then your future generation will also be living in a healthy environment. That's what I want from all my upcoming generation or budding architects which will be coming up. They can really do the difference.
Yes.
So that is a real thing which I want, or I urge, or what you can say, that should be done from your generation.
Okay. Thank you so much, and I really hope everyone learned something new from this beautiful episode, from this beautiful conversation we were here with Professor Himmat sir. So we would love to see you again.
Sure.
And okay then, thank you so much for watching. Thank you.
Thank you very much.